What is up, everybody? Welcome. It's Orange Plus Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum. The man with a pointing problem is Chad Hastings. Like us, comment on us. Matter of fact, when you go into the comments, let us know who you want to see emerge from the weekend as a major star in tomorrow's scrimmage. It's a big part of what we're going to be talking about today. Jump into the Specs chat, though. Send us some super chats. Like we're game for anything. We will be talking about Texas football. We're just a couple of weeks now, man. Not even 18 days. Jesus.
18. What are you doing?
Plus a 1, carry a 5. It's 15 days away.
15, bro. 2 weeks from tomorrow.
We're going to come out of this weekend, and we're not even going to be a teenager anymore. We're going to be like a 7th grader, days away from being Texas and Ohio State. So, yeah, man, it's starting to get close. It's starting to really matter. Chad, I was just thinking about this weekend, and what's a conversation piece that's somewhat timeless, right? There's a conversation piece to be had about the scrimmage, but it feels like that is almost a dead video after the scrimmage. And it feels like there's got to be a conversation that involves kind of where we are 2 weeks into camp that dovetails into the scrimmage. And I think it both places weight on what we'll see in the scrimmage, but accurately depicts kind of where we are. This idea of last chance saloon, this idea of this weekend being a little bit of a make or break for a number of guys in the program. It was one of the things I talked about before camp started. I'd written in my 10 thoughts from the weekend. There is a group of guys that are neither starters or locked into the 2 deep, or they're not true freshmen. And it feels like you take that group and separate them to the side into their different areas. And then you're set with a group of guys that I think tomorrow is kind of everything for, because depending on your position, depending on where you sit on the depth chart, they will come out of tomorrow and they're going to start thinking about Ohio State officially. And they might not say it, Chad, but the depth chart's going to get set. They're going to start really getting ready for that game. The words Ohio State are going to start being talked about on campus instead of 2026 season. There's a moment of seriousness that I think we hit tomorrow, and I think there are careers that are on the line, that there will be guys that will have the ability in September, once they get through this game, to maybe change their lot in life. But I think there are 24 guys in this Texas program, 1 out of every 4, that will go in tomorrow. And if they don't have a big scrimmage, or they don't follow it up with whatever might not have been a huge scrimmage the day before, they're just not going to be big factors. Certainly in Ohio State, which is like the only thing we're talking about and thinking about. But it becomes harder at that point to start carving out a place on the roster if you haven't used the 15 practices in August to get there, if you haven't used all of the offseason workouts, which coaches are now able to supervise, if you didn't use this. We're at a point now where even the freshmen on campus are approaching 30 practices in a Texas uniform, not including everything that they did in the summer. The coaches will know. And this weekend's almost that third preseason game in the NFL, where if you're one of those guys going into the third preseason game, the third and final preseason game, and you are like, oh man, I got to do something to prove to the coaches that I should be on this team, it's probably too late.
Well, and the timing issue too, a week from now, Catch, I'm guessing there's not a hard physical scrimmage the Saturday before game week.
Exactly.
That would determine a ton of stuff, right? So that's why this weekend ends up being so critical. So before we dig into some names, just to clarify with you, because I think I see the group of guys I think that you're talking about. So for you, is this also could this be a guy that needs to show up to become a starter, but can it also be a guy that needs to show up to get reps at all? Is it both of those things for you? I think
at every position, there's just a little bit of nuance. And I think it's as easy as, let's start at the quarterback position.
Okay. Is Arch Manning the star? Oh, no, not that part of it. I'm sorry. My bad.
If Arch Manning, let me ask you this question. Hangnail. No, let's not even go with a hangnail. That's an injury. A hangnail is an injury. They hurt.
Helmet screw up.
Bingo.
Helmet strap.
like the face mask comes off of Arch's helmet.
Screws come out all the time. The world is an imperfect place.
We've seen that thing where the trainer's over there screwing it back in.
Oh, I always wanted to be that guy.
Arch is over there with a screwy helmet. Who's coming into the game in Columbus, Ohio?
Right now, from everything we know, my gut would say it's Caldwell.
Why?
I feel like in practice reports and scrimmage reports and everything, I feel like he's done a little and done enough to get some of that attention. I don't know that at least in my reading of things, I don't sense Owens is doing that. I might be wrong, but my gut would be Caldwell.
I don't know that any of those guys is really outperforming the other, really. But one guy started games before on the road in the Big Ten. And the other guy's Trey Owens. And, we always do that slogan in college football, but even in the NFL as well. When we talk about young players, if they're even, they're leaving.
Right.
Maybe not at backup quarterback.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
And I wonder when I look at Trey Owens, man, what in the hell could he do tomorrow that's going to make the coaches in a couple of weeks forget that dude ain't taking no snaps in games? And whatever they think of each player's talent levels, Matthew Caldwell has. Now, things have mostly been pretty even. In fact, even as recent as yesterday, sometimes one guy's taking reps with the twos, the other guy. If they need a guy in the game, I think it'll be Matthew Caldwell. Okay. If it's more than a broken helmet at any point during the season, I think they'll have to have a conversation. And I think right now it would still be Matthew Caldwell. The thing that Trey Owens at some point has to start doing is making them forget that Matthew Caldwell exists.
Yeah. See, that's an interesting distinction. There's two different ways. Needing a drive in Columbus because of the helmet issue, or needing a start, like if Arch wasn't going to play one of the September games, you needed to sit him for whatever the reason would be. Those are two different things. Do you think both of those answers would be Caldwell?
Let's just start game one.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Sidney Bernstein on you here, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
You got $200 in parking tickets in this hand.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how pissed he was about that?
Oh, to get the phone. Bitch. Yeah.
What could he put in the other hand that's going to literally make you – just imagine your wife came home and put a ticket in your hand and said, honey, no defensive driving on this one.
Yeah.
It's a $200 ticket. It's due at the end of the month. But hey, guess what I heard today? Like, what would that have to be to make you go, oh, you're right. That's awesome. We'll circle back around on this whenever.
Right. Probably need to be like, it would need to be like a raise at her job, right? It would need to be the counteracting of that situation.
There's a little bit of that in the Trey Owens deal. Trey Owens isn't counteracting. Trey Owens isn't so good right now versus Caldwell in a head-to-head that they're making the coaches forget that dude played against Iowa. Now, did he have a bunch of success against Iowa? No. But did he play? He did. That's why they brought him in the first place. They brought him in because Trey Owens in the spring wasn't making them forget this dude hasn't played before. Instead, he was playing at a level that was making them go, crap. He's out here doing this and he hasn't played before. So I think at the quarterback position, forget about what we think is going to happen. I think at the quarterback position, we're actually kind of set because I don't know that I can realistically come up with a performance that Trey Owens could have unless, and then maybe this gives the coaches something to think about. Hey, do you know who had the single best quarterback performance of any quarterback at any point on either side, first, second? Trey Owens in scrimmage number 2. If something like that happened,
right,
they'd probably go into the coach's office tomorrow and go, what the hell got into Trey?
Yeah.
And
Now
like,
here's a weird question, Catch. In reading practice reports, it really does feel like they're moving these 4 quarterbacks around where it's, 1 and 4 over here and 2 and 3 are over here, and then we'll switch it. And sometimes Owens is doing this, and sometimes Caldwell's doing
KJ
this.
Lacey's their second. And Trey Owens is not playing well enough for them not to treat KJ Owens like he might be the future. Trey
Lacey.
Owens is not playing well enough that they are thinking that he is the future over either KJ Lacey and or Diabell.
Is there a reason to protect the feelings of Caldwell and Owens for any reason here? Are they trying to
No, because that's where Owens is, I think, marginalized himself too.
Okay.
They really, I honestly, if Arch transferred, that rumor's been out there. I'm not so sure that KJ Lacey wouldn't be. I think at that point, if we were talking about, oh my God, they got to figure out something for a season, I think Ohio State would be Caldwell. And I think if after that, I think they'd really have to recalibrate. Whoa, what just happened to us? What's the best call? Quarterbacks, again, position by position, every position group's a little different. We go to running back.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Trey Wisener's going to play a lot. CJ Baxter, man, that dude could fumble 7 times in the scrimmage. He's still going to play. That might limit how much they might want to use him in the opener if something wild like that happened.
Yeah. Catch, for the record, have you ever wanted a player to play better for the head coach than you want Baxter to play well for Sark? Like, I just want it so bad for Sark.
Oh, man.
Did you hear what
Not as bad as I want Arch to play well for Sark.
Did you hear what Sark said?
Completely honest.
Did you hear what Sark said about Baxter the other day in that media availability?
But you know what, man? CJ Baxter ain't gonna be the guy that wins this program a national championship. I want us to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and grow. If Sark does not share my selfishness, I will exude my selfishness into his pores.
All I know is I've never heard Sark say he fired me up about any other player, but that's what he said about CJ Baxter. I want it bad for Sark. I want Sark to get the CB4 that he's been dreaming about.
I think Sark secretly wishes that CJ and his girlfriend would break up so that Sark can secretly be his imaginary boo. He loves him. He really does. But look, I think we know that they're treating Baxter and Christian Clark, for that matter. They're just separate entities kind of from every other player on the team, not named Derek Williams. Guys that are coming back off of major injuries are going to be kind of treated a little bit different. But it does feel like there's room for those 3 guys this season. I don't know what Jarrett Gibson is.
Yeah,
and he's the only running back on campus besides the 3 that we mentioned who's not a true freshman, right? You get into Ricky Stewart, you get into James Simon, and those kids get hall passes. Everything that happens this year, they can just say, hey, man, we're freshmen still just kind of figuring it out. What you don't want to be is the guy who's going into year 3. Do I have a role? And I would think it would behoove Jarrett Gibson to be a guy whose name really gets mentioned. Do you know who splashed yesterday? The running back who could use it the most, more than anybody on campus, Jarrett Gibson. Have a day. Because if he doesn't, to me, he is 4th in line in the pecking order. And a lot of things can happen during the course of the season. A couple of years ago, we would have thought Jaden Blue was on his way to transferring. And then Jonathan Brooks got hurt. And then a guy that wasn't getting carries started to get carries. And then he started to average over 6 yards a carry. And then I was like, oh my God, this guy's got like a rocket ship on his like a jetpack. Where have you been hiding him? There's always, look, we've seen it. We saw it at running back a year ago. That is the position where guys just drop like flies. So you got to be too careful in saying that if Jarrett Gibson doesn't do it tomorrow, he'll never have a chance. But if he doesn't start to really create some headway, I just don't know what his role is. And I don't know how he's used in Columbus in a way that makes him a real piece of the game plan. And so for me, he's the guy at running back that I would look at all week long, but definitely going into the scrimmage more than anybody else. I think there's a variety of answers at wide receiver.
Yeah, before we hit receiver, I see the super chat. Sailor Joe, we'll get to that $5 super chat. We will also
I wasn't gonna go into receiver.
I just making sure.
I saw a super chat. I don't know how many we have. Plus, we got to pay bills and stuff. That was my way to let you know I'm gonna shut up.
All right. Okay, that's good. I'm just making sure. I felt like we may be transitioning into some more words. All right. So we mentioned that tomorrow is 2 weeks till kickoff. Today is 2 weeks till the Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. We're headed out there on the Friday before Ohio State. Come see us. We'll be out there 12 to 3. They are open Wednesdays through Sundays. Make your plans to get out there. We're going to go celebrate Sherry's birthday out there coming up on the 23rd. So I'm going to head to Deep Eddy Vodka a couple times. I'm excited about the end of my August coming up. Get out there. You'll love the time. They're all about having fun. Make sure you do it responsibly, obviously. Get those DDs and ride shares figured out, but go have some of these great cocktails. Go do a tasting. They got 9 flavors now with pineapple. And you can also have some great Crimson Creek Smokehouse barbecue. It's all out there at the Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Make your plans. Get your excuses ready for your boss to come see us 12 to 3 on the 29th. All right, Catch.
Hold on. First of all, I love the fact that the chat is absolutely aware of the fact that Sark just has a thing. We really did a number on Sark and Baxter in those first couple of games.
I blame you and Anwar. Those are the 2 people I blame for creating the Sark's boo mindset. I blame both of you.
We did have but we're not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not. Again, I was watching that thing for 2 reasons. When he said our team just practiced their asses off, I wanted to see how that played out. But as it's going on, Catch, somebody asked about who looked good at practice or who looked good in the scrimmage, who looked good where, here and there. And he talks about Baxter and his eyes lit up. And he said, man, he fired me up. And I thought, I don't think I've ever heard Sark say that about any player.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
It was perfect. And so that's where the notion comes in. I want CJ Baxter to play well for his own sake, because I love when guys come back from injury and they can actually be, themselves again. But man, do I want it for Sark. I want Sark to be able to talk about Baxter in actual football, like big time football terms. It'll be great.
By the way, I feel like Sark might release a diss track. He might go full on Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe, how's my ass taste? If that's for the kids out there. If you're like, what did Catch just say long time ago? It's been almost 20 years now. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal had a feud.
Wasn't that right as we were starting radio?
Yes.
08, 09, somewhere in there?
Yeah, ish. Because that was right about a year after Kobe dry snitched on Shaq to the Colorado police.
Oh, God. Those 2, holy smokes, those 2 dudes.
So just if you're unfamiliar with the how's my ass taste track, you can literally Google Shaq, how's my, it will populate in.
Yep.
It's worth a watch, just so you know. They were wilding out there in the mid-2000s.
The crowd lost their mind on that one. It was a live performance, too, in case you don't know that. It wasn't a disc track on a record. He literally did it live.
Now, it was like if Tupac had just hit him up out at a concert.
It was incredible. All right, Sailor Joe, get us back on topic here. Super chat, $5. Owens leaves in the fall if he fails to get QB2, because that means KJ could also maybe beat him out next season. And with Bell close behind, not a good look. Catch, I think Sailor Joe might have laid it all out perfectly.
I mean, look, he's got to do something this season, I think, to keep that. Look, Trey Owens, it ain't show friends or friend business. It's just show business. And Trey Owens hasn't performed well enough this year that it kept them from going to get some dude. That's who Matthew Caldwell is. They just went and got a dude because they weren't comfortable enough with Trey Owens. They're not going to sit around and feel that way about the quarterback position ever. It's the last position Steve Sarkisian's going to be. Well, let's just give him 12 more months and see what happens. He's not. And look, I think what we've seen is that Trey Owens is really the first example for all of these dudes moving forward. Dude, don't not be on schedule because they'll always recruit the next guy. And by God, if they have to, they'll bring in a filler. So like Trey Owens, we can't play the pretend game. Like college football is now a game of the transfer portal. It's a game of money. It's a game of roster management. He's got KJ Lacey and Diabell soon behind him. Look, man, ask Chance Mock what it's like to have dudes on your heels.
Oof.
Chance is damn 5-star.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, to Chance's heels were experiencing something that not many have ever experienced.
My whole point, though, is it can happen to anybody. And once, where Chance's problem was, and he couldn't control this. There just wasn't a big enough separation between him and Vince that a narrative could be changed. Right? So what have we seen with Ewers and Manning? There was this thought of like, oh, well, one guy can wait. And then I don't know that same narrative exists now. I don't know that Owens gets it. And quite frankly, we probably spent too much time on the video talking about it.
Yeah, I think you probably are correct. All right, so we got done with super chats. If y'all want to throw those in, you can. Wide receiver, Catch. What's in your brain for this weekend? This is obviously a multiple position situation, but like who's in the last chance saloon for you when it comes to pass catchers?
It's a little bit different. I think it's a last chance saloon potentially for a guy like, don't you dare call him Emmanuel Sanders, but Emmett Mosley.
Well done. Well done. Good job.
If I just start doing his name like the old Pistons PA guy.
Oh, God.
Wait, who is it? Who is it?
Or the Bulls or the Pistons?
Oh, it might have to be the Bulls because it would be Mookie Blaylock. I want to do that.
Yes. No, you're referencing the guy that was Detroit when they had the 2004 championship run in that era. That guy was
Detroit basketball. I want to be that guy.
Yeah, Detroit. Yes.
No, that's what he would do. He would go Chauncey Billups. I just got to do that with Emmett Mosley's name, and I won't call him because it's still so weird. I don't understand. Like if Chip Brown was doing this and it was like, oh, well, Emmanuel Sanders went to SMU. So it makes sense that he can't get Emmanuel Sanders' name out of his brain. I never even had Emmanuel Sanders on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I was going to say Emmanuel Sanders did he ever play for a team you even cared about?
No.
He was a Bronco, right, with Peyton Manning, and he was on.
I'm shaking it now. Emmett Mosley.
Mosley, the fifth.
Hey, show up, catch some passes, have your name mentioned. He'll be in the first 4 wide receivers, I think. If he's not, then I think that maybe Ohio State starts to get a little soon for him. I think your first 3 are kind of acknowledged. I do wonder, it's a different kind of last chance saloon, but maybe for game 1, can one of those freshmen get themselves on the field when it,
right,
get a Ryan Wingo level of like 6 snaps in the opener?
Yeah, a couple, like maybe like you'd love to see a catch or 2, or what about a target or 2, right? A planned target for a freshman. Is that McCutcheon?
It seems like it would be today.
That would be, I mean, my first guy would say would be McCutcheon, and then maybe, is it French? Or is it
part of this may be like who would they most not want to take off the field?
Yeah, because I kind of want it to be Khalid Lockett, but I don't know if we've heard enough about Khalid that he's that guy. I want to see him out there, but I'm not quite sure. It feels like McCutcheon's been more the guy.
I just know that the rotations under Sark have been like pulling teeth, whereas we used to make fun of the rotations under Tom Herman because they never made any. Whoa, why are you taking Devin Duvernay off the field? He's got 100 catches. Why no? Don't. And then it's 3rd and 6. Why are you doing that? And it was like, oh, I don't know. I let the receivers coach determine the rotations. And we were like, you do what?
Oh my God. Yeah, that was
back in those days.
That was really bad when fans and media get to the biggest moment of a game and your gripe is, why are those 3 receivers in instead of those 3 receivers? You have offensive problems.
No,
like that's a problem.
After games, your head coach is pulling a Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber and going,
yeah, it was silly.
I think those freshmen, if you wanted to give me a real S or get off, I think Aaron Butler's got to do something. That's
I thought of him too. Yeah.
That's an out-of-state guy going into the dreaded year 2.
Yep.
Who it feels like if he's not careful, he goes into the offseason without a role. Younger guys behind him. Nobody off this group is scheduled to graduate. Like, man, I don't mean to put a guy on blast, but look, it's impossible to ignore that a guy like Aaron Butler's caught between a rock and a freshman place. And if it doesn't happen, it'll be the out-of-state guy. Look, just by definition, out-of-state, no role coming out of year 2 has got transfer written all over it. So I don't even have to mention all of the names. We can all take a peek at the depth chart and the scholarship board and go, okay, well, who are the second-year guys? Who aren't or who isn't on the depth chart? All of them. All of them.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to maybe a little O-line discussion here in just a second. Let's give Hijack Poker and Texas Card House some love. We'll start with the online version in the state of Texas. That's where you got to be. Just, as long as you're in Texas, it works. Hijackpoker.com. Get that app. Put it on any device you want. Make sure you sign up to get the $20 bonus with Hijack Poker. Also, don't forget about TCH. Go on in, mention Orange Bloods, 1 free month of club membership, and 2 hours of free poker play. Thanks to Texas Card House for sponsoring us every day at 12. And in 15 days, I believe the plan is for us to be at TCH Social Austin. So hopefully we're telling you about drink specials coming up. Kids, I have asked about drink specials. As soon as I get an answer, I'm going to let you know. Because my favorite thing last year was telling you about their incredible drink specials in the 24 season. Hopefully they come back with some of those and more this year. So we'll let you know. But shout out to TCH. Can't wait to go see that big ass screen one more time, Catch, for Texas and Ohio State. That's going to be awesome. All right. So offensive line.
By the way, you don't have to twist my arm.
Yeah, right. Bad beat bacon. Yes. Yes. Oh yes. Yes. Let's go have some more. So Catch, is the offensive line the next place to go?
Well, tight ends.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, though, that we're looking at a tight end position that absolutely has one of the – look, I think Spencer Shannon's moved himself into a position where he's this year's Juan Davis, which it's not apple for apple. Spencer Shannon's not, a fifth-year senior. But he's worked himself into a guy who's going to be on the field because he can block, he can do some things, and I think he's ahead of younger players.
Right. He'll have a role on the team.
Yeah. He will have a Juan Davis role where there may be a game where the very first ball is thrown. Whoa, they threw the ball to Spencer Shannon? But, that could happen. Remember, Juan Davis, if I'm not mistaken, caught the first pass of the game against Ohio State. So,
he did. I love that play, too. God, I love that play because you know who wasn't expecting that? Ohio State.
Well, it didn't go for a whole lot, but look, we know Texas loves to play a lot of 12 personnel, so there are going to be some tight ends on the field. I think that you're wondering. It's not Jordan Washington and Nick Townsend are just too young. So one's a true freshman, the other's a second-year player. They're evolving. I would say Will Randall is the guy who came in the same grade class as Spencer Shannon. And I don't know that there's anything Will Randall can do, which is one of the reasons why I wouldn't necessarily put him on this list. It's a good thing that dude went to high school with Arch.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's why we know him. That's how we think of him, is that was his tight end in high school. People will bring him up from time to time, but now, I mean, is there really any chance that something could happen tomorrow?
It doesn't seem like. No. I mean, if you told me Will Randall had the biggest play of the scrimmage, I still don't think that would make me think that means anything for Ohio State.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So I think the die's cast there. I think on the offensive line, no injuries. Whew, right?
Right. That's a different discussion than Last Chance Saloon, but yes. So that was my question for you when we get to this point. It's like, is there a Last Chance Saloon element to the offensive line, or is it just, hey, fellas, we got to stay healthy?
I mean, it just comes down to, I'm going to say, I've got a couple of guys in mind. I just think about a guy like Connor Stroh. I'm thinking of guys who are in their second, third years. And now I will say the offensive line is one position where it seems like maybe there's a different set of rules. Because I would have looked at Neto Yamuzalo a year ago and thought, it's going into his year 3. It hasn't happened. That's a guy now that's waited till his 4th year to become a starter at Texas. And look, a starter he is. I can't begrudge Neto, and I don't think he's playing for his job. I don't think anybody's playing for their job tomorrow. I think what the coaches would like to see on the offensive line, no mistakes, limit the pre-snap stuff, put together a couple of drives. You know what they'd like? Because they were able to move the ball somewhat, and Sark was pretty open about it. Hey, they got the ball on the second drives of the scrimmage, and we moved it pretty well. And then what happened? They got into the red zone, didn't cash in. I think they would love. I think they'd love to have this offensive line cash in a touchdown tomorrow. Not even like 3. I think they'd love for the first team offensive line to march down the field, 8 plays, 80 yards. 2 of them are like inside the 10, and they just get in the end zone. Victory. I think you could pull your starters at that point.
Catch. I'm not.
You've seen these NFL preseason games, Chad. I don't mean to cut you off, but if Dak, it's like we're going to have Dak play the first half, or until we feel like he's had enough. And you've seen that first drive sometimes where it's like bang, 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 and you're like, hey, if Dak Prescott comes out and plays another down in this preseason game, somebody should be fired. It could be a little bit like that.
Perfect example. Did you see what happened to Mahomes in their last game, in that first preseason game with the Chiefs? No. His line was 1-for-1 touchdown. And as soon as the ball was caught, you could feel them pulling him out of it was like 1-for-1, 41 yards passing. He's done. We're out. That's it. So, yeah, I get.
Oh, hold on. Can I tell TN Longhorn something here?
Sure.
Chad, I would never bet your life on a prize pick.
I appreciate it.
But if I was ever going to bet Chad Hastings' life on a single prize picks entry, now I'm not telling you what to partner with this. I partnered it with Tyler Owens of Bournemouth committing a single foul. Green Goblin, not getting too crazy with it.
You can bet on fouls.
They have a combined shots on target of Mo Salah and Florian Wirtz together, and the number is 2. Either of those guys could have a hat trick in this game. The idea that each of them has to get one shot on target and then one of them has to get, I'm telling you, I may not win with this because Tyler Adams may not commit a foul. But Mo Salah and Florian Wirtz combined, 2. It's not even a goblin. It's just 2.
Yeah.
It's the mortal. And look, the game starts at 2:00. Most of the people that will watch this video, I'm sorry, I'll shut up. You won't even be able to play it. This is for the people in the live chat right now. Go do it now.
Fair enough. Quick nerdy question. In soccer, is there a difference between shots on target and shots on goal?
Same thing.
Same thing. That's what I figured. Just checking. All right. That's why I marked it. I knew you might want to hit that at some point. All right. I see another chat I want to get to, but it is defensive oriented. So we may do that. Catch, do you want to do buy or sell and then we'll talk defense?
Let's do buy or sell and then we'll do defense.
There you go. All right. We will do that. Before we do it, let's give Specs a little love. Here's Lisa.
Texans know for selection and lower prices, it all starts at Specs. Shop Specs! With all your favorites on tap, you'll bring home the win. Boots on, drinks up. The fun starts here. Shop Specs!
All righty. Get all stocked up at Specs. You got 15 days till Texas and Ohio State. Catch, you want to go first or second?
I'll go first today. I've got some interesting, kind of some weird ones. I have a KJ Edwards themed question that may be the most interesting question I've ever asked.
Well, hey, we talked KJ Edwards yesterday when Jason jumped in for you, so I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Buy or sell number 1. Defense wins the day tomorrow in the scrimmage.
That's a buy. I'm going to say they are a bit undeniable. I'm going to say Sark does not pull the Hugh Freeze and start paying off his defensive coaches to call off the dogs. I'm going to say he wants to let it be what it is. And I'm going to say this defense just keeps doing it. Yeah, there'll be moments where the offense is all right, but I think the defense is going to stay in control.
Bias number 2, the lesson to be learned in the Michigan suspension and fine case is that you should cheat like all get out to win a national championship. The punishment does not fit the value of the crime.
Oh, God, I hadn't even seen. Did the punishment actually come out? Did we find out punishment?
No, they fined them some money and added a single more game to the suspension for more, but it's in 2026. Like,
oh, not even this year.
They did the Sumlin where it's like you get to sit out the second half of McNeese in November.
You get to pick what it is.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely a buy here. The lesson we're being taught is that it is okay to go up to the line and boldly go past it and establish that, and then it's just okay. You're not ultimately going to get punished. Ask Bill Belichick and his videotape machine. Ask this dude and his videotape machine. Ask Jim Harbaugh, who's in the pros now.
By the way, Jim Harbaugh, a 10-year show cause. Do you think he cares?
He does not care. Ask the Astros in 2017. Ask the Red Sox in 2018. It does not stop. Young coaches, learn how to cheat. Learn how to cheat really well. You will not be punished for it.
I was going to say, you don't even have to learn how to cheat really well. Learn how to cheat well enough to get by.
Yeah.
And then if you get caught, you get a show cause. Who cares?
It's so Catch. Have you watched the Netflix thing on Connor Stallions on the Michigan thing?
No.
Oh my Lord. It's hilarious. It is hilarious that it's real. And then you come to the backside and you go, wait a minute. So what is the punishment for this? Oh, okay. Nothing. Cool.
All right. Buy or sell number 3. You think you could survive the hot wing challenge? I misspelled challenge there.
Sell. Capital S. Sell. I am not a spice guy. I don't respond well. Catch. When I was 6 years old at 4th of July, I had a Sonic nacho with a single little disc of jalapeno.
Oh, no.
And I thought I was going to die when I was 6.
I think this is where Michelle and I come into play with our enchiladas.
Okay.
The same thing would happen to me. And I sometimes think if you look at an enchiladas plate, it looks so messy. It's like shit has to get mixed in there that I don't want to. And that would be one of them. Now, people can say, catch you're a sissy. By the way, my dog just walked in. I got the windows open.
What up, Pooch?
She ain't leaving.
She don't care.
You've never seen a happier dog than the smile of, wait a minute, you just opened the windows completely up?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's raining, so nobody should walk their dog. I think I'm going to be safe unless the Amazon guy shows up. Yeah, no, I've always been worried. A bean, jalapeno, something like that will sneak into that enchilada, and I'll just will throw up.
Yeah, it's just not my thing. Can't do it. So yeah, that's a sell. Every time I watch one of those, I'm like, man, there's no chance that I could ever do that. I'd be on the floor.
All right, buy or sell number 4. Let me give you the context of this question.
Okay.
KJ Edwards may take some visits this upcoming season to both Texas and LSU. I was trying to explain to somebody earlier in the last 24 hours why KJ Edwards might want to do that. The person was like, all they're trying to do is get more money out of A&M, and we're at to show him a lesson. And what I tried to explain to him was the following. Buy or sell. In general, the dopamine hit from being wanted feels better than the dopamine hit from being loved. Because my contention is he loves A&M, and A&M shows him all the love. But there's something about being wanted and those around him wanting him that partly keeps a guy taking visits and not quite being able to be fully engaged.
I think certainly in this version of college football, it's got to be a buy. It's going to be wild to watch this play out, because if an A&M commitment, a pretty damn good one too, goes to the Texas OU game, and then maybe goes to A&M at LSU, and then maybe goes to Texas hosting A&M at Texas. If he attends all three, like the what would an Aggie fan tell you at that point about their chances to ultimately sign him? But then catch 3-4 days later, what if he actually still signs with A&M? Like, what a wild ride that would be. But to me, those three things, man, that's three things Mike Elko does not want. You do not want that. You don't want an A&M commitment attending any of those three games, specifically the ones where the Aggies are involved. Like, that just feels weird. He's going to be on the other sideline or with the other, group in the other color, but he's your commit. Huh? Like, it's just weird. But to your point here, I think you're absolutely right. It is that thing about being wanted. It is that thing about the chase. And let's face it here, Catch. The chasers here are pretty badass, right? Like, the chasers are incredible. So even if you've gotten the love from a big dog, from a Georgia or an Ohio State, yeah, but what if Texas is interested? Yeah, but what if LSU comes calling? Yeah, but what? Like, that draw is still has to be intoxicating for these kids.
It's easier to understand it all if you just think about it like this. Plus, we've heard guys say before, either A, I never had a recruiting process, so this could be fun, right? Or we've heard guys say, hey, I get to do the recruiting process all over again. People like it. They do.
Yeah. Well, and you've talked about
never had it, want it.
Catch, you've talked about the whole like Adrian Peterson, Texas OU thing, right? You attend it on one side, you end up coming out of it, ripping that team, stuff like that. So again, forget Texas OU for a sec, because that's a neutral game and it's two other teams. But LSU and A&M, Texas and A&M, right now, who's favored to win those games, Catch? The home teams, yeah. Right? Let's just give the respect to Nussmeier and LSU and Manning and Texas. They're favored to win. What if they do? What if they win both of those games? You've got recruits standing there next to KJ Edwards going, hey, man, you're committed to them? The one that's getting beat right now in front of this maniac stadium? It's so weird. That's going to be so odd. And then if you're the Aggie representative and you call KJ Edwards that night, or you see him on the field, are you even allowed to talk to him at that point? I don't even know all the rules. What do you say to him, Catch? So
I'm just saying, just something to think about whenever people want to ask this question.
I know.
And finally, buy or sell number 5. It's a game of hotter than.
Okie doke.
New York City at 90 degrees is hotter than 105. It should say New York City and 90 degrees with no AC. Sorry, I did not write this well. Okay. New York City, 90 degrees, no air conditioning. Hotter than 105 in Austin in August, outdoors with no shade.
I like the way this is constructed, and I think it's a buy, and there are two key reasons. Concrete and buildings.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason. Because if you've ever been in a true downtown situation when it's hot, man, it's way hotter. It's way hot. Every window acts like a mirror, and they're all shooting the heat right at your head. Yes. That's why I feel bad for them, Catch. Some Texans, like you and me, want to rip on those New York people. Oh, those New Yorkers, they can't stand it. It's only 92 degrees. Dude, they ain't got no air conditioning up there. They don't put the units in.
The buildings block the wind, people.
Plus all the time. Where do you live, Tex? You live in Beaumont. There's nothing in Beaumont that's like a third of the height of what they're dealing with, and it traps all that heat in. And I
think you're the right. I think I'd rather be at Zilker. 105 and the occasional.
Oh, I'll take it. Give me 105 at Barton Springs and I can't jump in versus 90. 90.
It just feels like people die in New York City a lot. They always talk about it. The heat wave.
You give me 90 on
105 in Austin just means don't go barefoot. All right, that's it.
Yeah, you give me 90 degrees outside of Carnegie Hall, I might pass out.
So those are my 5.
Pass the F out. I like it. All right. There's Catch's buy or sell. Let's take a breath and hear from AV Consultations, and then I'll give Catch my buy or sell, which does include a very, very specific hotter than. It's not just a hotter than. It's a hotter than while doing a certain activity. That's coming up.
Now, stepping up to the plate is a household name, weighing in at roughly 115 pounds with a wingspan of 98 inches. It's Samsung.
Kid, I know it's baseball season, but this isn't what I meant when I said to incorporate sports into the company commercial.
Sorry, old man. I just want everyone to know that audiovisual consultations can make your home feel like a stadium.
That's true. Audiovisual provides stadium surround sound, huge screen video, controlled lighting, and even temperature control. On our roster, every customer is an MVP.
Sounds like audiovisual knows how to score a home run with our customers.
All right, kid, that's enough with the baseball puns.
But I'm trying to tell everyone that audiovisual is a real catch. You'll love our services.
Kid?
There's nothing coming out of left field when you give us a call. We won't break your balls.
Kid, we only have a minute.
Pitch, please. I don't need your attitude right now.
Rest assured, listeners, audiovisual is much better at installing and designing custom home theaters than we are at making jokes.
Just check our stats. Give us a call at 512-255-8678 or visit us online at avconsultations.com.
All right. The other day when that one played, somebody put in the chat, like, that commercial's so cringe. And I thought, well, yeah, that's the point. Come on. It's a bunch of dad jokes. Of course it's cringe. All right, Catch, here we go. Buy or sell, number one. You don't know who the first two D tackles are for Texas against Ohio State, but you think one of them will be Murad Watson.
Buy. Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. That'll lead it. We'll get into some defensive
think
conversation.
It's gonna matter. Like, I think they really are. They could decide that on just the older. I would not be shocked if Alex January and
Shaw.
I don't know, Travis Shaw rolled out. Like, I think this gets settled in games, and I think they feel like they've got 5 or 6 guys that they all feel real comfortable in. And I don't know that they feel like any of them is Byron Murphy or Tavondre Sweat.
Yeah. All right. Let me hit you with another name I'm reading about on defense and see what you think. Buy or sell, number two. Anthony Smith will have meaningful reps from week 1.
Oh, buy. Yeah. Like, he was getting meaningful reps at the end of last season. He's got what will be interesting for Anthony Smith is, can he play his way above? And I don't mean forever. I mean this season. Can he play his way above being a specialist, a package player?
Right.
Because it would mean beating Legal probably off the field to play more.
Right.
And I don't know that that's going to happen. So,
because Smith's not starting at Ohio State for you right now, is he?
No.
Right. Okay.
And I don't think he will, but I think he'll have a meaningful role.
Yeah.
I can see him playing 25 snaps as a situational player.
He's definitely a guy to pay attention to.
And that's a lot of football, actually. You know, I mean, that would be a little bit under probably what the starters will play. Like Anthony Hill will play 60, 70 snaps, and LaFau probably will as well. But then beyond that, your base packages and things like that, that'd be a lot of playing time for, again, he's only a second-year guy.
All right, Catch, 3 weird birthdays to hit. Buy or sell, number 3. Billy Joe Shaver would have been 86 years old tomorrow. You saw Shaver live with Eddie. Buy or sell?
So I'm pretty sure I don't know. I have seen Billy Joe live. I don't know if I saw him. My uncle has seen Billy Joe Shaver live like 100 times. So I feel like I could almost just take one of his, but in all transparency, I don't know. And it was a long time ago. All I remember is that I've seen Billy Joe Shaver. I don't remember anything else.
My answer to the question, who's the greatest guitar player you've ever seen that nobody knows about? The answer is Eddie Shaver, easily. He is the greatest electric guitar player I've ever seen in my life that no one knows about. He was so amazing. Rest in peace to both of them. All right, Catch, another side of music. Buy or sell, number 4. Joe Jonas is 36 years old today. You can name another Jonas brother.
Giuseppe? No, that's Joe.
Dude, if there was a Giuseppe Jonas, that would be.
I was thinking like Three Stooges.
That would be so
Curly.
awesome.
Oh, I cannot believe it.
It's 2 very basic names. There's nothing fancy about either of these first names.
Petey?
Yo, hey, if you want to get a new tire, old Petey Jonas has them down there. You just turn left, go
Frank?
down there. Frank? No, it's not Frank. There's Nick and there's Kevin. Those are the other 2.
I was going to say Kevin.
You were that close. That close.
Really pissed at not because I knew it was Kevin. That was just going to be my next white play name I was going to go with.
Oh my God. My daughter's going to see the Jonas
After
Brothers.
Petey and Giuseppe.
the third time, I think, for my daughter to see the Jonas Brothers coming up this October. So,
yeah, they're coming. Number 5. I've embarrassed myself enough.
Coming back around. All right, Catch, here it is. A very specific hotter than. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I want to know what you do with it. Buy or sell number 5. Jennifer Lawrence is 35 today. Prime on Prime, changing the oil in a car. J-Law, hotter than Jennifer Aniston.
Sell.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm remembering it was the Meet the Millers or whatever it was, where she does kind of
We're the Millers, yeah.
She kind of does it's not changing the oil, but it's the closest Jennifer Aniston's probably ever gotten to looking like she was about to change some oil.
Okay. Yeah, I like the reason I'm
going to go Aniston changing some oil.
Okay. The reason I like the matchup is they're both so hot to me, even when they're in like that situation, right? They're sweaty, the hair's messed up, whatever it is. Like they're both still really attractive. So I think that would be either way. I just think
she pulls off the Transformers scene better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think she pulls off that Transformers scene.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, so if you guys want to throw in a super chat, you can certainly do that. We
got like 5 minutes to wrap up the show and get through the defense. I would not send a super chat. You were going to get robbed.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so don't send a super chat. But here's a question real quick, Catch. Maybe this is a last saloon kind of thing. But is Littleton really that good? I saw he was a projected starter on OB. Grayson Littleton, it does not fall into last chance saloon status here at all, does he?
No, and I think everybody needs to look at the Ohio State game as like a separate deal than the rest of the season. It would not surprise me if Littleton eventually he's listed right now as the starter in the nickel, but there's a lot of deviations of personnel that the Longhorns use. Sometimes Michael Taft plays in the nickel as a star. We know that Gilbo does it. I have my doubts. For the same reasons that I wonder, will they really throw Trey Owens on the field in game 1 against Ohio State with everything on the line?
Right.
Would you really do that to Grayson Littleton and really the team as a whole? Or is there I hate to say safer, but a more sound, proven pair of hands that can go on deck in week 1? I think Littleton will play. I have doubts about whether he starts.
Gotcha. All right, Catch. Well, let's rapid fire it before we close up. Defensive line, last chance saloon. Who are you thinking of? Defensive line.
Colton Vassett jumps out of my mind.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many guys trying to get reps there.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to make sure that they stop talking. He's got to remind, feels like we talk about a whole bunch of dudes, and at some point, if you're Colton Vassett, you want to be mentioned in that breath as well. I don't really look at any of the defensive tackles. I wouldn't count.
Because January did what he needed to do, right? January's in the mix.
But Melvin Hills probably isn't.
Okay.
Could Melvin Hills do anything tomorrow to make him not the 7th or 8th defensive tackle? I don't know. At this point, I would say no. And so he falls into the category of guys that I think I have to ask some real questions of themselves in December if things don't dramatically change.
All right, linebackers. Who needs to do something tomorrow, if anybody?
None. They don't have enough linebackers. They only got 5, not including walk-ons. They have 5 scholarship linebackers.
Yeah, I think it's fair. All right, defensive backfield. There's so much talent there. It is easy to get lost in all that talent. Anybody need to make a move?
It's not fair. A guy like Warren Roberson continues to kind of be because look, he's not a starter. Nobody's taken, not even Kobe Black has taken a job, right? It still looks like Gilbo on the outside along with Malik Muhammad on the outside. The rule is the rule, no matter how good they are. Are you good enough to be a starter at Texas is not the same thing as are you good enough to play at Texas? And Roberson is in this weird spot where he's definitely good enough to play at Texas. Is he ever going to be in the top group? And I don't know. And I think about him, and I think about a guy like Wardell Mack, and I think we know that there are young guys. Littleton is one of these guys out of nowhere that I think is because if Littleton was the starter, Like, what are you doing if you're Wardell Mack? You just got passed by a true freshman at the star position in the nickel. Like, you're out.
Yeah.
So I just think that take the Ketchum rule and look at the depth chart, and they all – the thing is you can't make exceptions. You can't go, Ketch, the coaches are always singing the praises of Warren Roberson. It's like, I know. We're not saying he's not good. The standard now to get on the field at Texas in the secondary is kind of like you're either a first or second day guy. And if you're not, they'll grumble about you. Look at what happened with Malik Muhammad a year ago. Malik Muhammad was a starter on a team that went to the semifinals. And there were rumors that Muhammad might look around in the portal. And there was some general, like, well, he didn't make any plays last year, and we might have overpaid for that. Like, let him go see if he can find as much money as, you know what I mean? There was a little bit of like, he wasn't in sacred ground territory, and I think he is now. I think he's moved into that kind of deal. But if you're Roberson, and look, once upon a time, Jahdae Barron, allegedly, was a guy that threatened to enter the portal. And Texas was like, well, go enter the portal. You let us know how that goes.
Yeah, see what's there.
Now, by the end of his career, if Jahdae Barron had said, I think I'm going to enter the portal, there'd have been some conniption fits. But once upon a time, there wasn't. And I think that all of these guys are in that kind of unproven territory until they're not. And you're either a true freshman or you're in the too deep. And if you're not, you're going to be feeling a certain kind of way. Now, the good news for a guy like Warren Roberson is that he's in the too deep. But there are other guys that aren't. And I look at a guy like Roberson, I just go, when's he going to get his breakthrough? Because if we were to say, what's the pecking order at corner, maybe tomorrow is a do or die moment for a guy like Roberson. Not in the sense of most of these battles that we're talking about. Who's the third corner against Ohio State? Is it him or is it Kobe Black? And, you know, the answer to that question doesn't mean you're not playing much this season, but it also tells us a little bit of a story of what to watch the rest of the year.
Yep. All right, let's close it up. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, getting those notifications. The subscriber number on YouTube is up over 78,000. We can't get to 80,000 without you. Thank you so much for helping. And we know we can't get to 8 million without you. How about 100,000 by the Ohio State game? Sounds like an interesting idea. Thank you all for helping us do all of it. Check out Orange Bloods Live. Check out the video section. Check out the short section. There's all kinds of cool content there. We appreciate you. And hit that QR code in the corner for orangebloods.com. Try it for $1 for your first week, and you'll love it, and you'll fall in love, and you'll never leave. We thank you guys. Have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday, and we'll be 12 days away from Texas and Ohio State.
Well, we'll have a scrimmage video tomorrow, though.
Ooh, and there'll be that's right, scrimmage reaction video tomorrow as well. Be looking for that. Ketch and Anwar breaking down the scrimmage and everything that happens and all of the rumors. And Ketch may be actually wearing a cowboy hat tomorrow. You never